Hello, my friends, and welcome back to my channel, Italy, a place to love. My name is Antonio, and today I'm going to talk about a village in the south of Italy, here in Basilicata region, that it seems that had been repopulated by Americans, Canadians, and foreigners in general. And so I found this very interesting article written by the CNN, so it's an American outlet, and it's about living the dream inside the Italian village being repopulated by Americans. The article was written April 28, 2023. So it's 1 year old, but it's gonna be interesting to read this article. Let's go and let's read it together and see what they're gonna tell us about this town here in Basilicata region in Matera province, under Matera province. So this is a picture of the town. Let's go and read. As foreigners flock to buy old, inexpensive houses in Italy, one group has gone a step further, helping to revive a depopulated town. Irsina. So Irsina is the name of the town. Deep in the southern Basilicata region, is home to over 300 non-Italians from 12 different countries, alongside 4,000 local residents. Let's keep reading. Until the 1960s, the hilltop village, surrounded by fields, had a population of 12,000, but mass migration combined with harsh living conditions meant that by the 1960s, barely 4,500 people were living in the old historical center. This is typical of the south of Italy, the immigration by the southern Italians who left the south of Italy. Today things are different. Irsina in 2023 is an expat heaven of mostly retired and American migrants living the rural Italian dream. I really like this sentence, rural Italian dream, because obviously this place is for who loves rural life, not for sure for who needs party life or city life. More than 15 families from the US and Canada have bought old properties in this remote village, known for its premium wheat fields and olive groves. And they keep buying houses and expanding their properties, spreading the word back home of this dreamy location which seems to be frozen in time, typical of Basilicata villages. Here it seems like the time has been frozen. Each time they come back, they bring along relatives and friends, all of whom because happy to spend between 20,000 and 150,000 euros, $22,000 or $165,000 for a spacious dwelling with bucolic views. The views here are amazing. Another key point. Walking along the narrow alleys, all sorts of accents, American, Canadian, French, Norwegian, can be heard. There's even a road which locals have rebranded the Belgian Street due to many Belgians who live over there. The wild hairy hill. So you in Basilicata, for example, here there's a picture with the snow. Generally in Basilicata during the winter, you have few months. Usually December and January are the coldest months, and you can experience also wintry weather, not only summer with 35 degrees. So, Irsina's old name is Monte Peloso, hairy mountain, hairy hill, for its once grassy crest. It dates back to prehistoric times when it was inhabited by early humans and later by local tribes. Archaeological objects, including tools, weapons, and ceramics used by cavemen, are on shows at the village museum. Here it's full of history, all the south of Italy. So here you will never get bored to find history if you love it. The old district, enclosed by high walls, Is a maze of decorated stone portals, medieval watchtowers, and elegant palazzos once belonging to the rich rural bourgeois. Bourgeois. I don't know these words, but I guess rich men, rich people. But the narrow, car free streets that foreigners love aren't what locals want. Many Irsina residents moved in the 60s to newer neighborhoods of town, leaving the historic center largely empty. Uh, how the dream of moving to Italy turned sour for one family. Irsina is known for its bottini, underground tunnels which used to carry water to the town's cisterns. It also has a tradition of human towers. Actor dressed, each May, actor dressed as farmers jump on the shoulder of other dressed as rural gentry to create a shape which represents the social hierarchies of the past. The town is also known for its succulent dishes with weird sounding names. Alagne, Purmakut is handmade pasta with figs cooked in wine and bell pepper, while calaride are sheep and goat delicious. Food, anyway, here in any town, in any place in the south of Italy, you go, you find amazing dishes. So, in any place you can mention, there are a few recipes that are particular of that town. How the foreigners arrived, even though life in Ersina isn't always idyllic, with snowy winters that isolate the town for days, migrants here say that they're living the dream. The first foreign pioneer to buy a house in Ersina was Sandy Webster, a 63 years old writer from San Diego. Along with her husband Keith, 69, a Scottish finance manager, she visited on vacation in 2004. The couple fell in love with the village, bought an old house with thick stone walls, antique furniture, and ancient Maiolica tile floors. Oh, floors are beautiful. In some old houses here are amazing. And spent 4 years renovating it. They then relocated here from London in 2012. In 1989, I visited Sorrento with my then boyfriend and loved Italy. I spoke conversational Spanish and wanted to buy a house in a Mediterranean country, either Spain or Italy, Webster tells CNN. She solves the conundrum years later when the pair tour Basilicata for kids' 50 birthdays. Basilicata deserves to be visited and obviously has the particularity that is the less known region of all Italy. Italy has 20 regions, and Basilicata, 50% of the Italian don't know where Basilicata is. She solved it, okay. When she got an online property alert for a house in Irsina, it, seals, it sealed their destiny. We drove and drove into the rural wilderness as is further from civilization until we got to charming Irsina. There was only one hotel back then, open for a few days a year. Now there's a plenty B&Bs, she said. Now, the Webster's pinkish stone house has four panoramic terraces and overlooks a small sunny piazza square in the oldest part of the village district. Their renovation cost 4 times more than the purchase cost, which she won't disclose. Utility bills aren't that much lower compared to the UK, but they say the food here is cheaper. I have to agree. Utility bills, but for me, utility bills are cheaper. I have to be honest. And food also cheaper. But anyway, by the Italian standards, by the Italian salaries, prices, let me say, could be kind of the same if we put in proportion the salaries. But for an expat or for a retiring person, could be very affordable. We rented the whole house. There was just one small bathroom. The attic was turned into a guest apartment, and we kept the original huge vaulted living room. The fixes would have cost us 1 million in London, she says. Obviously, to cost, yeah. Family and friends often visit them, and they love being just under 2 hours drive from the beaches of Metaponto, also in Basilicata, and Bari in neighboring Puglia. Bari is the airport, and Basilicata. So it says that it's a bit less than 2 hours if you want to connect to the airport or to the sea. For example, here in Montemilone, I'm a tiny bit more than 1 hour from the sea, that is in Apulia, Metaponto is in Basilicata, and 1 hour and few minutes from Bari Airport. What makes Irsina unusual among Italian villages is that it's flat as a pancake. There are no killer steps, steep steps, or uphill alleys, just arched passageways. The village sits on the elevated plateau, which makes it great for walking, especially for elder people, says Webster. We wouldn't change one thing. We might sometimes grumble there's no real Mexican or Chinese food nearby to grab, or a McDonald's, I'm gonna add, to grab as an alternative to Mediterranean cuisine, which is delicious, but it's all great, she adds. Obviously, here you are not gonna find any exotic cuisine. Only in bigger towns you might find, but in these small rural areas you will never find any foreigner cuisine if you are used to that. Indian, Chinese, Thai, Mexican, anything like that. The Websters didn't have to face head splitting bureaucracy issues to buy and restyle the house, thanks to help from locals who were thrilled at having newcomers settle in their village. The only obstacle remains communication. We still speak Italian like 4 years old and had to write notes to the building team to give them clear instructions. Obviously, as I always said, it's important to speak a bit of the language where you're relocating, to expect other people to understand whatever you're saying in your own language. It's a bit crazy, it's a bit weird. So, how did others follow in their footsteps? Webster says that word spread thanks to a local company of plumbers and architects who joined forces and advertised potential holidays home online. But much of Irsina's global appeal has to do with ancestry. Tiffany Day, a 50 years old former financial advisor from Nashville, is Irsina an official ambassador in the USA. After purchasing 5 houses for her extended family, she has 5 kids and 8 grandchildren. Each time she had visited with her husband Rob, she's brought along more American friends to buy property in the village. It would be interesting to do the same here in Montemilone. Anyway, why? She felt the pull of her roots. Day's grandmother hauls from Irsina, and she still has relatives in the village, like her aunt Antonietta, who knows all the expats. Obviously, there are many Italians, for example, here in Montemilone, who emigrated to Germany, Luxembourg, United States, Canada. Some of them even wrote me a comment under my video, so I'm very, very pleased by this. And why not for these people to get some of their roots back, let me say. Now, they likes to throw huge mixed parties on the elegant panoramic terrace of her 18th century palazzo, where locals and Americans mingle. In October, some 200 guests will be flocking over to celebrate the wedding of her son Hunter, whose parents-in-law have also purchased a home in town. Oh, it's coming across to my mind that there is a famous American director, Francis Ford Coppola, that is originally from a town called Bernalda, also in Basilicata, and actually also his family now, part of his family bought other properties over there in Bernalda. Bernalda since Francis Ford Coppola because he has origin from there. So other people now are buying and relocating and buying a holiday home simply because obviously a big name like Francis Ford Coppola relocated there. Now, I reconnected with this place in 2016 when my nonna held a reunion lunch in Irsina. We drove like mad from Rome to make her happy. We spent the night and the next day toured the place. I just love this little town on a hill. Untouched green all around, she says. When the days come back for a second visit, they bought a house, once stately, but but by then ruined, for 100,000 euros, and spend the same amount renovating it. I mean, I can actually, it's possible to spend much more less, let me say. I'd say if she spent 200,000 euro, I believe you can buy here even spending 20 times less, sorry, 10 times less, or maybe 7, 8 times less, and spend the same amount renovated. Now it looks like a luxury mansion. Obviously, it depends if you want a luxury mansion, okay, out of a glossy magazine with a panoramic bathroom overlooking the hills. I also have a panoramic bathroom that, that it overlooks over the hills, and the view when I sit, it's beautiful. It's amazing. I brought my family members and friends from the USA. They all wanted to come and bought 9 houses, she says, adding that a further 104 travel Buddhists have visited. They bought a ghost village in Italy, then left it to crumble. They says that the locals are kind and humble, and the beauty of Irsina is spellbinding. But to really grasp it, one needs to look beyond appearances. When we got here in 2016, over 80% of the population had fled to the newer district of Irsina. The old Irsina was empty. It's the same here in Montemilone. Practically, they built a new district in Montemilone. People moved there, and now the old part of Montemilone is nearly empty. I'd say it's quite totally empty. It was empty, and we loved how it looked. Even if the houses, anyway, are beautiful, all stylish. Obviously, most of these houses in the center have to be renovated. I didn't buy actually in the center, but in the old part of the town. But I'm very very close to that. I'm not in the new district. The village just needed some attention. Everyone loves vistas and views. You just need to see it through other eyes. Look at the hidden value. Foreign interest in the old district pushed locals to spruce up their houses too, triggering a revival of Irsina, according to Day, who visits 4 times per year. So she doesn't leave. Uh, Miss Day or Mrs. Day doesn't live here. She visits few times a year. Something magical. But no, I don't know if this is a Tiffany Day has installed a panoramic bathroom. Wow, amazing. Wow, has to cost a fortune to make a bathroom like this. Anyway, Beth Ancona, the mother of Day's future daughter-in-law, also bought a home in Irsina, spurred on by the desire to reconnect with her husband's Italian origins. He's Sicilian, but we found our casita, small house, in Irsina when we saw an ad while visiting Italy. There are so many great, beautiful Italian cities like Rome and Venice, but there's something magical here, says the 53 years old teacher and author. Their house, built into the old village walls, was on sale for 70,000 euros. The tight knit expat community helped the family get through Italian and red tape and purchase procedures. So, for example, I relocated here to Montemilone. It might be helpful I could be helpful to someone who would like to visit, can contact me, and so on. They can have an experience, might spend some time, and then they'll decide, but it gives the opportunity to a life change. Now the Anconas have adopted a typical Italian routine, the passeggiata, morning evening walk, and the post lunch riposino, the nap. That's a must. Here, it's a must. It's impossible. I don't know how. It's impossible to not have a nap after 1 or 2 p.m. after lunch when the alleyways are totally empty, totally. It looks like a ghost town, in particular during the hottest day of the summer. Not only did they adapt their lifestyle to the local beat, but Ancona convinced her own Arkansas based parents in law to buy the house next door to them. My mother in law wasn't excited at first about the idea of a village without cars, but now Montemilone has cars. Cars can drive here. She has more fun here than in the US, she says. She walks, takes the bus to the nearby Matera. Oh, Matera is beautiful. In 50 minutes, I'm in Matera, one of the most beautiful towns in the world, I'd say. It must, has to be visited, has to. Irsina has taught her how to lead. Irsina has taught her how to lead an active lifestyle in her 70s. The sleepy vibe pushes us to live a slower life. Canadian Deborah Semenyuk, a 65 years old retired dentist from Vancouver, wanted to live in a non-touristy part of Europe and picked Irsina in 2019 after spotting a rental ad on the web. Yeah, it's possible to rent in the beginning. You people don't have to buy straight away. After staying a year to check it out, she got stuck in town due to the pandemic that allowed her to fully experience the village life and get to know people. She is now settling. She is now settled in and renews her electric visa yearly. I first rented a house from an Irish lady. Wow, an Irish who bought in Irsina. Then decided to buy one together with some of my family members, having a base in Irsina, allowing me to travel around Europe was a great idea, she says. Semenyuk says her elegant gated home in Irsina's historical center was way cheaper than any apartment in Canada. Though, like Webster, she doesn't want to say how much it costed. That's fine. It came with direct access to a private patch of land and olive groves that makes it unique in the historical center. Here is also possible to see some olive trees in the town, for example. There were caveats, however. The property used to be a convent, and its historical significance means there are restrictions on renovations. Semenyuk would like to open up. Semenyuk would like to open up new windows in the walls to see the views, but she couldn't. I'm not allowed to change the structure of the property, but it's all alright, she says. Obviously, if there are historical values, you cannot modify as you want. I love how there are no cars in Irsina. I don't have one. I just hire a driver from the airport and then it's all on foot. Wow, this is amazing experience. Let me say they with a taxi or with a driver that brings them there to Irsina, and then they don't even move from Irsina. I believe anyway from Irsina there are buses that connect you to Matera and to other towns. So if you want, you can always go by bus, even from here in Montemilone, if you don't have a car. But anyway, there are a lot of things to say about Montemilone that makes it a bit different. We are not at the level of Irsina. If Irsina has already 400 expats or people who relocated there, it's much easier for them, and the community itself grows and starts creating services. While here in Montemilone, we are at zero at the moment. So there is what it is. Uh, there is what there is, but not much. I have to make a video about this, what is in Montemilone at the moment and what is not. So just for people to understand fully what you have access and what you don't have access of. Now it's very sociable here. There's an open door policy, and it's great fun. Food is locally grown, as here. The lifestyle is healthy, as here. The only problem is that I can't learn Italian as well as we all speak English. Obviously, if there is a community of expats who all speak English, it's much easier for you to not need to speak Italian. That's the thing. Dave Tomlin, a former hospital cook from West Virginia in the US, also picked Irsina as base for his family's vacation home. We wanted a cheap house as we traveled every year to Europe with 7 other couples, he says. In 2008, we bought an old one room home with big arched ceilings, a terrace, and a cantina for 24,000 euros. You see, very affordable prices. I don't know how much it costs to renovate it, but together with his wife Carrie, who works in the banking sector, Tomlin bought a second larger house in 2012. They now own both and spend 6 months per year in Irsina. He says that he adjusted quickly to the Irsina beat. I grew up in a small village with barely 700 people, so this place is okay to me. I've got my hobbies, take care of the house, and as Carrie still works, we come and go as we please, he says. Tomlin, who has distant Italian roots, says the expats community made it all very accessible to them, and the couple was won over by Irsina fresher food and slower place lifestyle compared to the US. He even considered applying for an Italian citizenship but found it a tough task with too many procedures to follow. Okay, guys, so my dear friends, this was the article. Hope you found it interesting. And to be honest, it would be nice if someone after me, it would be nice to find Montemilone an interesting place and trying to create a similar adventure like for Irsina. And I repeat, for me, there are some benefits here in Montemilone, while it's much closer, let me say, to some important places. And let me say, you can connect easily by car. It's much closer anyway to some amenities. And anyway, I will make more videos talking about Montemilone and what Montemilone has to offer. But again, at the moment, Irsina is much higher than Montemilone simply because there are more expats, more people relocated, and so on. So, okay, my friends, if you watched the video up to now, don't forget to subscribe, to put like, to put the bell to press the bell if you like my video and you want to be notified when I post videos, and so on. Okay, my friends, have a nice day from Antonio, Italy, a place to love. Bye.